Welcome back to another video where today we're going to be doing a service on the front differential for my 4th gen Ram. So today we're going to be servicing the fluid in the front differential on my Ram. We have already previously done the rear when I did the axle seals as well as the transfer case. So it's time to do the front differential. So to complete the service on the front differential, what you're going to need is a 8mm hex, your 3/8 ratchet, a torque wrench that we're going to set to 25 foot-pounds, and then 2 quarts of fluid. So the Ram front end calls for 75/85. If you're putting your vehicle under a lot of heavy loads, you can get away with doing 75/90. It's actually pretty hard for me to find 75/85 from any distributor in my area. So I'm doing the 75/90 here. And I tend to do some towing with my vehicle, and I do put it under some heavy loads once in a while. So doing the 75/90 isn't a bad thing for me. So this is going to be similar to servicing any other transfer case, differential. The very first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you can get the fill plug, which is your top plug, cracked loose. You want to avoid just cracking open the drain, emptying out your differential or transfer case without opening up that fill plug, because if the fill plug is stuck and you can't get that open, you're going to have no way to refill your system afterwards. So we're going to jump under the front of the vehicle and I'm going to show you where the front differential is and which one's the fill, which one's the drain plug. So looking under the middle and front of the vehicle, you're going to see your axles here. And this component here in the middle is your front differential. So the bottom plug here is your drain and the top one here is the fill plug. So what we're going to do is crack loose the fill, and then we're going to remove that, and then we're going to move down to our drain plug after. So we've got our fill plug out, and you can see on the bottom here there's a small rubber seal, so you're going to want to inspect that to make sure there's no issues with it. So we're going to stick our plug now in our metal tray just to hold it. We're going to move on to the drain plug. We're going to crack this one loose. So you're going to want to set up a catch tray underneath to clutch the fluid. So what I do is I use my pointer finger, I apply pressure to the middle of the plug, and then I rotate out with my other 2 fingers, and that allows me to catch all the fluid without having a huge mess. So we're just going to let that sit and drain now. So the fluid does look pretty clean, but I don't know when this actually was serviced last. I've had the vehicle going on about 2 years now, and I'm around the kilometers where I should be servicing all of the differentials and transfer case. So I figure this is a good time for me to do it and inspect everything. But the fluid does look pretty clean here. It doesn't look very dirty, which is nice. So this must have been done in the past previously, which is good to see. So we've now let the vehicle have enough time to drain out. So we've checked our seal, it's good. What we're going to do is reinsert the drain plug by hand here. I'm just going to use my ratchet to get it loosely tight, and then what we're going to do is torque it down. So that's tight. So let's get our torque wrench and we'll tighten this in. So I've got my torque wrench set here to 25 pounds. So that's torqued. And now we're ready to refill the gear fluid here. So this is something to keep in mind if you lift your vehicle to do this. You do not want to just lift up the front end. I also have my back end lifted so the vehicle's level. If you lift just the front and you go to drain the fluid, you're only going to take out a portion of it. A lot is still going to sit towards the back of the differential. So mine's lifted up evenly and we drained out the entire differential. So for refilling this, I'm actually using one of these easy fill bags. I normally use a transfer pump, but this is such a tight area that I figured I would give the bag here a shot and we'll see how it does. So this is actually going pretty easy here. So I'm squeezing the bag from the bottom to push a lot of the fluid up towards the front here. My lid came undone a little bit, so that's what that run out is. So what I've done is stick the entire fill nozzle into the hole here. That's stopping me from getting a bit of that dripping, and I'm emptying the bag a little bit easier now. So it's hard to get the bag on a bit of an angle here to make sure we're getting everything we need out of it. All right, so we're ready for the second bag here. So same thing, I'm going to try to get this fill tube in all the way up there. And we're just going to let the gravity of the bag with a little bit of pressure on the bottom continue to fill. And as we can see now, I've got a consistent stream here running out. So we know our differential is now full. So we're gonna let this sit for a minute and drain out the excess. And then we're gonna put our fill plug back in. So we've now given the differential enough time to drain out here. So we're gonna insert our fill plug back in. Again, we're just gonna put this in by hand. Get it as tight as it'll go. And now we're gonna torque it down. So now that we've torqued down and refilled, we're going to use our brake clean here and just clean off any excess fluid. And now that we've cleaned off the excess fluid, both plugs are torqued down, the differential is refull. That's our service. So now that we've cleaned up everything, we're completed here. So the purpose of this video is to show you how easy it is to do this type of service at home yourself. So a lot of people tend to neglect these types of services as their vehicle gets older because of the expense of having to go to a shop or a dealer. So this video is meant to show you how easy it is for you to do this on your own. A couple of the big takeaways with this is to always make sure you pull your fill plug first, so you don't get in a position where you can't get it out and you've already drained the fluid. Second is to make sure that you just fill the system back up until it runs out. So that lets you know your system's full. And third is to make sure you insert the plugs and tighten them down. If you don't have a torque wrench, that's okay. What I would say to do is to get the plug tight and then give it another quarter turn after that. That will suffice if you do not have a torque wrench. So if you found this video useful or enjoyed this content, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.